Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be giving you my TBR for the 24 in 48 readathon. This is the first time that I've been able to participate in this readathon, and even now I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do, but I'm going to give it my best shot. It's very difficult when you've got a 4-year-old to actually block out time during the day to read. However, this readathon is taking place on the 21st and 22nd of January, and it just so happens that that weekend my father-in-law is down, and so with her dad and her granddad to amuse her, I'm sure I can find plenty of time to read, I hope. So the basic idea for this readathon, if you don't know already, is that over a 48-hour period you've got to try and read for 24 hours. So it starts on midnight or 1 past midnight on the Saturday and finishes at midnight on the Sunday. So over that 48-hour period you have to try and read as much as you can. I have picked 2 books off my Shelf Slam sort of TBR from the theme of the Shelf Slam TBR. I've picked a massive load of graphic novels, and I've picked a trilogy of YA books that I'm quite interested in reading, which I think will be good for a readathon. So let me show you what I'm thinking of picking up. I won't go into too much detail on these because there's quite a lot of books here. Obviously, I'm not expecting to read them all, but I want to have quite a nice mixture to pick from easily. The first is The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood. This is on my Shelf Slam 2017 January TBR, which is books that have been hyped and a lot of people have talked about that you feel you should have read and you haven't. This one I've had for a while, and I love Margaret Atwood, so I really want to get to this. The basic premise from what I can gather of this book is it's about a couple. They are struggling to make ends meet. They see an advertisement for this sort of self-contained town. They decide they want to live there, but if you want to live there you have to, every second month you have to go into prison. So you swap your house for a prison cell, and the person that was in the prison cell comes and lives in your house, and vice versa. And this is a story about that and what happens between this couple and the couple that they swap with, I believe. So I'm intrigued to see what Margaret Atwood's done with this story. Next up, I want to finally pick up this book because it needs to be read, and that is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. If you know me at all, you'll know that I've been putting this one off because I was super excited when it came out. To Kill a Mockingbird is probably my favourite book of all time, and when it came out I was super excited, but I didn't get to it straight away, and then I heard lots of mixed reviews, and so it has made me a bit nervous about going in because I don't want it to spoil my views on To Kill a Mockingbird, but I'm going to give it a go, so we'll see. Next, the 3 books that I have been sort of leaning towards from my sort of YA young adult shelf, and this is a trilogy of books. I think they're sort of companion books, and that is Perfect Chemistry, Chain Reaction, and Rules of Attraction by Simone Elkeles. I think these are sort of romancy type stories. I don't know an awful lot about them. I believe Perfect Chemistry is the first one. It says on the back, Brittany Ellis seems to have it all: wealthy parents, the perfect boyfriend, and the right group of friends. But when Brittany is forced to become lab partners with Alex Fuentes, a gang member from the wrong side of town, her perfect life starts to unravel. Alex is a bad boy and he knows it, so when he makes a bet with his friends to lure Brittany into his life, he thinks nothing of it. But as Alex and Brittany grow closer, sparks begin to fly, and they both realise that sometimes appearances can be deceptive. Will their emerging feelings be enough to keep them together when the world is determined to tear them apart? These are perfect for me for a readathon. Gobble you up, easy reads, you know, addictive read, and so I'm hoping that these will be perfect ones for this. Next up, I have a massive stack of graphic novels, which are sort of the top ones that I want to get to the soonest. I'm not going to go into detail because there is a lot, so I'll just show you which ones I've got. I've got Ghost, which is by Raina Telgemeier. If you've watched my wrap-up, my first wrap-up I did in January, you'll know that I read Smile by her, and I love her books and her artwork. It's right up my street and really great stories, so I'm looking forward to trying this one. I've also picked up Tomboy by Liz Prince recently, which again, I really enjoy the artwork. I do prefer colour, but I really enjoy the look of this, and it's about Liz Prince growing up. She was a tomboy, and it's just about being a tomboy. Next in my stack, I have The Cute Girl Network by Greg Means, MK Reid and Joe Flood. This again is black and white, but I really enjoy the look of the artwork. This is described as a skater punk romance. I'm just intrigued, and it was recommended to me by the lady that worked in the graphic novel shop, so fingers crossed. Next is a book that I'm really excited about, and that is Food Anatomy, The Curious Parts and Pieces of Our Edible World by Julia Rothman. I picked this up after reading Relish and Lucy Knisley's book. I picked this up in the shop and it was recommended to me by the seller because I said I really enjoyed books about food, and so she recommended this one, and I'm excited to get to it. I know that I mentioned it to Lauren from Lauren and the Books, and she ended up buying it for David for Christmas, and he's really enjoyed it, so that's made me even more excited to pick it up. Next is some books, sort of Japan based books. I picked up Clueless in Tokyo by Betty Reynolds, which is an explorer's sketchbook of weird and wonderful things in Japan. I really have a desire to visit Japan at some point, and we're putting it off until Matilda's a bit older, but I just couldn't help myself with some of these. Another one is Manabeshima Island, Japan by Florent Chauveau. It's 1 island, 2 months, 1 mini car, 6 crabs, 80 bites and 50 shots of shoku. And it's a really beautiful travel memoir. So I can't wait to see this one. Again, by the same person, is Tokyo on Foot. And this is wonderfully drawn, really beautiful illustrations about Tokyo. I'm hoping this will get me even more excited. A couple of ones that I'm continuing on with. I have volume 2 of The Beauty, which I've been reading, which is about a virus, which is like a sexually transmitted disease. If you catch it, you become beautiful, but then all of a sudden people are dying. And I really enjoyed volume 1, so I can't wait to try out volume 2. Carry on with I Hate Fairyland. I've got issue 9 here. I'm reading this in issues. I'm a bit behind, but this is issue 9, so I look forward to trying that one. And issue 10. And then I have One Night a Hero by Isabel Greenberg. I recently read the Encyclopedia of Early Earth and loved it, so I'm going to be continuing on and reading her other book. So I've got plenty of really exciting options here. If I'm fancying a bit of graphic novels, I can read that. I can read a bit of romance. I can read off my Shelf Slam TBR. So I'm really excited to be taking part in this and to see how much I can get through in 48 hours. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for me. I may set my alarm and wake up a bit early. I don't think I'll be getting up at midnight because that's crazy. But I may set my alarm and try and get up at 5, which is doable for me, and get some reading in hopefully before Matilda wakes up. But we shall see. I shall be timing myself to see how much I get to read in the day, and I'm excited. It's the first time I've managed to participate, so I am participating with my fellow Shelf Slammers, Janet from Swirly Girly Reads and Brittany from Under the Radar Books, and so check out their channels for their TBRs, but we're all going to be cheering each other on. Anyway, let me know if you're doing this, what's on your TBRs, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.